Welcome back to Totally Unexpected. I'm Chavie. I'm your host. So excited to be back here to introduce our guest for today, Brochie Spritzer. Okay, this is a really fun episode. It was so much fun to explore design that I have a passion for. If you know me, you know that I love everything design, but Brochie comes at it from such a unique perspective. So she's a luxury interior designer who uncovers each client's unique style through their personality. So just like your personality influences how you dress, it also shapes how you design or how you want your interiors to be, right? So Brochie brings concepts like place types, which we're going to talk about in this podcast at length, to showcase how different personalities how it translates into interiors. So instead of imposing a signature look that a lot of designers do, she designs from her client's perspective, creating spaces that feel personal, sophisticated, and one of a kind. I got introduced to Brochie because she reached out to me, I don't know, almost a year ago maybe, to ask if she could place type me and, figure out what my design style was and kind of share on Instagram. And I was like, sign me up. Like, would not have thought of a better thing that I would want to be involved in. And so she did place type me. We're going to talk about it on the pod. And then we, started a friendship. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, what a great guest for the podcast. So here she is on the podcast. And to take it even one step further, I even hired her for a project that when the time is right, I'll share. But it's really fun to have created this relationship. And I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation. So get to it. This week's podcast is sponsored by the Jewish Children's Library Fund. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of a backstory about what this is. You all know, or you should all know, Chaya, who's the owner of Project 6 New York and Project 6 New York Kids. She is involved in this project with her father. And she told me that as far back as she can remember, she remembers her father's desktop stender, where he would keep his books. And there was always covered Scotch tape scraps of paper with different Hayom quotes, which is a daily passage that you can learn. And one of his favorites was from the 22nd of Teves, which, to quote, says, it's an absolute duty for every person to spend a half hour every day thinking about the Torah education of children. So now that Chaya's father is a Zaidi and has many grandkids, and he sees what we're up against, right? And what the kids are up against with all the distractions and how easy it is to just, get lost. So he actually took action and he created a Jewish Children's Library Fund to help start Jewish children's libraries within communities all over the United States. So specifically to create libraries that are not in schools or shuls, but in somebody's home, and makes it very homey and not as confronting if some people deal with that. So they offer matching grants and a database to get your library started. So if you or someone you know is interested in opening up a library, please text Ruvain Rockford, 954-709-9541, or check out their website, jewishchildrenslibraryfund.com. All of this information will be in the show notes. On their website, you have a bookstore, you have products. There's also something called goodies, which includes personalized acrylic tzedakah boxes that you can order for your kids or grandkids or friends. When you do order a goodie, you are joining the Children's Library Fund and helping to start libraries. And then you can be part of fulfilling the Hayom Yom, which is doing everything in your power to inspire children to follow the path along which they are being guided. So I'm actually a donor of the Children's Library Fund. I think there's so much value. In our family, we are obsessed and love books. So it's just easily aligned. And I think it's such a beautiful concept. So if you're interested in creating a library in your home or supporting a library, please check the show notes and get in touch.
Hi.
Hey, do you hear me?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Yes, I hear you beautifully.
Okay, amazing. We worked hard on the audio and the video. So
Yeah, you look perfect. It's a gorgeous backdrop. It's so professional. I love
thank you.
it.
I had my cousin come help me.
Oh, good. Good. I
No,
love
I'm
that.
like the least tech savvy person. So my cousin is like a photographer and he's like, let me help you out. So that
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
nice.
I'm grateful. I really understand the tech savvy thing. Like it is a challenge, such a challenge. Okay. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad it worked out today. And thank you for being so yeah, whatever the word is, understanding.
Yeah, of course. Hey,
Yeah, I was not expecting. Like my kids have been in school. They haven't missed a day of school in like forever.
it's really funny. It's sort of like to be expected in Murphy's Law, like when you have something that is
Totally.
planned and
It's like scheduled for 3 months, which I
scheduled.
never did. I'm like
Exactly.
a week by week person. I'm
Same.
like, okay, let's do this.
I am a week by week person, but having somebody who's bosses me around and makes sure that I have my interview set up in advance so it flows smoothly. I've had to like learn how to be a little bit more, what's the word? Like planned out. And we still have this argument. Like he's like,
Exactly.
you need more interviews planned. I'm like, no, I'm already like a month in. I can't do it at too far in advance.
I
But
still get that. I still
yeah,
get that. Also, it's really nice to speak to you. Like,
it's really nice to speak to you in person. I mean, like as person as it's going to get.
exactly. Although I feel like our time will come where we'll meet and you'll just be like, oh, I'm with Henshi. You want to come? And be like, okay, cool. Let's go have lunch.
I know. And I yesterday I was like, guy, if you're back on time, let's go for coffee. I would love to like see you. But I was leaving to the airport and you guys were coming back. So
Yeah.
I am good friends with your sister Henshi. I love her so much. It's a really nice connection that we have. But really, we got to know each other outside of that, sort of through design, right?
Yeah, we got to know each other through design. It's so funny because I was following you for a long time and then the algorithm kind of just put you somewhere else and I was not seeing your content. And
Hmm.
then I was like saying like different design styles. Someone said, so what style is Chavie Brook? And I'm like, oh, that's been a while. So then, like
Yeah.
that day, you had posted a picture of a kitchen. So I literally just took that picture and I was like, I think she's a guardian. And
Yeah.
then you're like, what's that? And we
Yeah.
uncovered your design style, and it was really adventure, which was so fun for me to see
Well,
that.
okay. I can't wait to get into that because I have so many questions and it was so much fun to explore design style in the way that you do. Because I think there's a lot of information out there and there's a lot of like terms that we use, like modern, vintage, farmhouse. There's a lot of like those types of terms that we use, but the way that you come about design is so unique. And I just want to know, like, is this your creation?
That I love that question so much. So I have the book in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know where to kind of start. Should I start from the beginning a little bit because
Start
it's
from the
pretty
beginning.
recent?
Yes, let's start from
Okay.
the beginning.
Let's start from the beginning. I found out so I'm a designer, interior
Mm-hmm.
designer. I've been doing that for years already. Then I found out I was having twins. They just turned one. So
Wow.
about 20 months ago. And I'm like, okay, this is huge. My design is just going to be put on hold. This is life-changing for me. Like usually one baby, you can just take them along. But I'm like, okay. So then I said no to all my clients. Like I
Wow.
had like a few jobs I was in the middle of, and then like any new clients coming in, I said, sorry, I'm not taking clients. I'm full. Because I was like, I'm not gonna be able to be on top of the projects. Like I'm just not gonna be available for that.
For sure.
Then I was so blessed. There was a program in New York, like literally only for New York, like full-time round the clock help. Literally, like Hashem gave me like the biggest bracha with like the help and everything. So actually did have time. And like a few months
Oh,
in, after like, let's say like 4 months, I started thinking like, you know what? I'm kind of bored. Like,
I love that.
obviously, yeah, I love being with the babies and everything, but like I need to get out a little bit. And then I had like a little bit of like odds and ends, like loose ends from my previous clients that like were still on board. So like the house was finishing and stuff like that. But it wasn't like enough for me. Like I wanted
Right.
something new.
Right.
But like, I had said no to everything that had came in. So there was this empty space. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So in this emptiness, you're just like on Instagram, I was just like, I saw something Melissa Wood had posted about human design, Jen Zoe, and I'm like, what is that? I never heard of that. So I went and I started just like listening to what she was saying, and I found it so fascinating. I'm like, okay. And I'm not someone that buys books. I literally don't. I'm like, I don't care. I was a huge reader, and then it was just like,
Yeah.
it stopped for me,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. You had a couple other things to take care of. Kind of how you have a lot of kids, not just the
Yeah,
twins.
thank God. Exactly. And I was just like, what is this? And she basically started saying, like, human design is your gifts that you're supposed to share with the world. And it's the way that you're supposed to go about doing it in the easiest fashion, right? So there's 5 different types. Do you know about human design?
I don't know so much about human design. So like, I'm
Okay.
really excited to learn. Like I know about Enneagrams. I know about like astrology a little bit.
I know. I found your astrology thing fascinating.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
I listened to every word.
And I think it's really cool when all of these things that come together. So tell us a little bit about human design.
Okay. So there are 5 ways. I'm not like such a pro because I'm like just honed into what I am.
Right.
So there's the projector, which is what I am. Then there's a generator, a manifesting generator, a manifestor, and reflector. So let's get into the projector, which is what I am. And you're supposed to see something in a way that other people don't see. It's like kind of like you're on this bird's eye view and you just see something so clearly. And it's not about what you do as much as what you see. And people will come to you for what you see. And I heard that and I'm thinking, what does that mean? It's all about what I do. I'm a designer. So yeah, I can say it's what I see in the space and I know how it should be edited and I know when it comes together. But I'm like, okay, like there has to be more.
Right.
So the other way for the projector to do it is just by sharing your gifts. Like, so interesting because you asked me to be on the podcast. Had I asked you, hey, Chavie, could I please be on the podcast? It would not have turned out. It would be like, oh, I don't want her.
Yeah.
Like the energy wouldn't have worked out. Like I have to wait for people to come to me and share the gift. Really, which could be so hard because in today's world, it's all about the networking. And even like
being proactive.
Being proactive. And I've taken business classes where it's all about the cold calls and the cold emails. And if you do 100, then you'll get 10 and it's the funnel and that just doesn't work for me. Like nothing. Silence on the other end.
Wow.
So this was very interesting.
Okay, this is like blowing my mind.
It's so interesting.
It's such a subtle thing, but it's so powerful. So you're saying that if you would have come to me and said, hey, like I have this gift to offer and I want to share the way I approach design, the energy would have been off for you or for me? Or together?
For you.
For me.
For you.
Okay.
You wouldn't have been able to receive it from me. You would have been like, okay, I don't really care about this, or she's too needy. Yeah. And I don't want that needy energy.
Or it would have been like, okay, if you're coming to me, then like, like I have, okay, that's so interesting.
It's so crazy. Also, I can't push it onto other people. So there's this influencer, just like 100,000 followers. It's so funny. Cause like, I don't even care. Cause like I see it again and again.
Yeah.
So she was doing her house and I was just like, oh, by the way, I do this. Do you want me to just uncover it? Like I already sent her everything.
Right.
But it's been like crickets. Like she hasn't really responded. She like comes back. Like it's been like, you know how you were like, yes.
Yeah,
No. Oh my gosh, so cool. She's like, every like 3 weeks, she would like come back to like the images before and been like, not really. No. Yeah. There's been like no response. I don't care. Like, I don't even take it personally because like, I know,
right.
Like I should have never approached her.
But you're seeing that play out in real life.
I'm seeing it play out a lot. I really am. And that's really just the projector. Projectors find it kind of hard to like be like, because it's like, if you have big dreams, how can I get to that huge dream of me sitting back almost? But the idea is you have to share. You have to share, and you have to tell people what you're offering. Tell people
and have people be inspired and come to you and
come to you.
so
Exactly.
you have to share. It's not like you stay in your own little bubble, but you have to share, but in a way that's very open, so it invites people into your space.
Exactly. So I heard that you have to share. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to start sharing past homes that I designed and see what happens. So I was just sharing. I was getting good feedback, like, oh my God, I love it. So interesting. Fine. And then I just noticed this interesting thing that two of the houses that I was sharing were so similar, and even like their personalities were so similar. Their homes almost could have been swapped and they would both be happy. And then I had this other client that I was sharing. I'm like, wow, this is such a different vibe than the other two. And then I just started thinking, like, what makes someone want to design the way they do? Like, it's something that I always came in intuitively. I've always designed for how my client wants. It was never about me, which is why my page barely had my clients' images, because I always had this vision of it being like perfectly my aesthetic and like this tailored page.
Yeah.
And client after client, it was just like either too colorful or like
wasn't
just
you.
not me. So like it wasn't something that I would like spend the time photographing if like it wasn't like that perfect, what I call perfect, right?
Right.
It's so interesting. So, okay, then I started like researching, Googling.
Okay.
Put it on the back burner. I know like people say like, I don't really want to get into this, but like through your color palette, you can kind of find out your design style.
Right.
To me, I always questioned it for years. I'm like, I just don't see it. It's not enough.
It's not enough.
It's not
I think
enough.
you can find certain things, but it's not enough to like really get into like the details of stuff.
Right. Like I was like, so does that mean like like I remember asking someone, like, does that mean like a spring will always have floral wallpaper? Because like they always show like the same thing. And like the winter has the black and white tile and the marble and the high contrast. And I'm like, something's not there for me. So that was just like one small thing. Okay, so finally, okay, I like actually bought some like books on palettes, but then I found one thing, literally one thing on the internet, and I'm like so skeptically bought. I'm like, hey, maybe this is the answer, and I have it here. It's called Designology, and it's the place types. Okay,
yes,
all the 8 place types that I share about, and she's a design psychologist that termed these place types. So her name is Sally Augustin. She's actually still living, and I'm trying to get in touch with her, but haven't been successful yet. I'm like, I just want to see if, like, you know.
Yeah.
So she basically writes out everything on each subject. Okay. And this is like the way you're born, your personality. This is the way you will feel most comfortable in a space. As I was reading it, I came to Maestro and I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so me. And if this is so me, then I would imagine that it's so them, the other person. And I also saw like my clients through the other place types. I'm like, oh, that's why she hated that art piece that I sourced for $3,000 and I had to give it to a different client.
Wow.
And that's why she like is always about her family first, and she's not going to do it because her kids or her family, and she just wants to make them happy. I'm like, oh, like everything clicked for me. But what people don't realize is that all the images is me. That's what I took out of it. She's saying how to feel comfortable, but imagine I gave you your thing on adventure with not one picture. Would you have been able to fully grasp it?
No.
No.
I don't think so. I think after seeing the pictures that you sourced for me, and we went through a lot, right? And like it was a really cool journey, actually. But then after that, then that's when you kind of explained what an adventure was and really went into like the nitty gritty of it. But I think the way you do it with the pictures is so powerful.
Yeah. Thank you. I mean, that's the only thing that excited me because I'm like, oh my gosh, what does this look like in my client's house? What does she actually like?
Right.
Not like, oh, she should be doing this and this to feel comfortable. No, let me see what it actually looks like and what you're drawn to design style wise. Like, I just found it so fascinating. So I couldn't necessarily get into everyone's brain. I needed you to tell me what an adventurer likes, if I can say, because I had my own thoughts and ideas. Do I know for sure? I knew like 70%,
Yeah.
but you were like that last 30% that was like, no, this is what it is. And I did that all over again. Like the Guardian, I was like on the fence and
There's
like,
a lot of things about Guardian that I do like.
right.
Right?
There's some
Yeah.
overlap.
There's some
There
overlap.
is. There's a lot of overlap within, but this is like to give you the basis of the understanding. And like I said, I never want to put someone in a box and be like, you're only
Exactly.
allowed to design, which I feel like the color palettes do that. Like, this
Mm-hmm.
is your design. These are your clothing. To me, it's like, why are you drawn to this? Why do you love these
Yes.
floral busy dresses? And look at me, I'm in my white blouse and like half my closet is like monochromatic, like just like
Right.
neutrals.
Right.
You're not going to find any prints in my entire closet. But
Oh.
like, yeah, not
I'm like,
one.
oh,
I'm
how do
looking
you
at it now. Yeah.
survive?
And you're like, what? And another thing that I love is that it's so subjective. What I think is amazing, you not necessarily think it's amazing. And what you think is amazing, you
Mm-hmm.
think it is the top level. That's what I was so baffled by, is because I would come to clients, they would show me and be like, that's so mediocre. Can I just show you there's a better way to do this?
Like,
We can
let's
do,
elevate it.
yeah, let's elevate it. And they don't want my elevation, my elevated ideas. They want their design style and then let's elevate it. So that's really what I do now. It's your design style, but I am still a designer and you still could use help
We
because
still need
otherwise,
you. We still
yeah,
need you.
exactly. I like to say that because I
Yeah.
can see that.
So I think we have to pause for a second because what you're saying is really quite amazing. So you took this Designology that you've obscurely found, because my sister was telling me after she saw you do my place type and she was so fascinated and curious, she's like, try to like research it on the internet. And she's like,
You'll find nothing,
there's nothing
which is
there.
crazy. And sometimes
There's
I think like,
nothing
what am
there.
I doing? There's nothing there.
I mean, to me, that's like, as somebody who's a creative in a kind of a unique way, but also like values individuality and like somebody like sharing with the world something that never existed before. My mind is like blown because it's like you took this obscure Designology concept, which really, really spoke to you, but wasn't really user friendly, right?
Right. I think that's the right word. Yeah.
And then you took it and made it into a thing that you now use to be an optimal designer.
Yeah.
And I think it's so unique to you. And that's is like, I think that's the coolest thing in the whole wide world.
Thank you. And I think it's just cool that I finally understood it as the projector. This is what fascinates me. It has to be a subject that fascinates you, and that is your path to success. We shall see if it will really be my ultimate path of success, which is what I question about. Do we, as Orthodox religious Chabad, especially, I like to say Chabad just because we have so many values, do we believe in this stuff like to the top?
So you're talking about like the human design part of it.
This whole human design, the same thing with psychology, the same, not psychology, the same thing with the podcast you did.
Astrology, enneagrams, like any personality type stuff.
Yeah, I would say the most overlapping with astrology is that something that we like, do we actually believe in it so deeply or is it just like on the side? That was a question I had.
So is it still a question or have you kind of reconciled it in your brain?
I think as long as you don't serve it as your God, it's okay. Like if it's there to help you and guide you, but like we're not here to idolize it. But you know, I'm still on this journey. I'd love to hear what you think.
Well, so this is something that I think about a lot because it's something that really fascinates me. Hence why I'm doing a podcast, right? Like I love figuring things out and like understanding people's psyche, like understanding what makes each person different and what makes each person react to things differently and different circumstances affect everybody differently and our energies. Like I'm so fascinated by that. And which is why I had that conversation about astrology. And I came to a similar conclusion. And I think the people that you speak to who are Chabad or religious Jews, Orthodox Jews, and are fascinated by these things come to this conclusion of like, it's a tool, right? Yeah. Hashem gave us a brain. He also gave us these amazing opportunities to discover who we are so we can fulfill our mission in the most optimal way, right? To me, it's like when we understand ourselves, right? When we understand like the thing that makes our soul sing, or the thing that like feels like we're being suffocated, or like when we can understand like when we shine. And then in that space, we use that to make the world a better place, to serve God, to be the best person we can be. I think that's why these things are put into this world, right?
Yeah, and you said something, which is my next question. I'm flipping this on you.
Okay.
You said our mission.
Yeah.
So do you believe that we have a mission in this mundane world other than like your anshlacha, so other than spreading godliness and Hashem's Torah, and right? Like that's what we were drilled as kids. We're here to make a dira, spread Hashem's.
Right.
So,
Right.
and
Make
then
the world a
these
better place.
people, right, are saying, no, you actually have something to share with the world. I feel like that's not stressed in our communities at all. Like you have a gift to share. You have a gift to share. It's more like, how do you spread Judaism? How do you spread it? Open the wellsprings.
Yeah. So that is an amazing question. And I think about this all the time. And I really, really do believe that we have something to share. We each have a gift that we are supposed to share. And I truly believe, and we talked about this in the other podcast, that like only you can do what you can do. And if you are alive in this world, that means your energy is needed in this world. Like Hashem put you here. So yes, is our ultimate goal to make a space that God feels comfortable dwelling, and ultimately the coming of Mashiach and making the world a better place. Yes, that's our ultimate goal. But how are we doing that? And I also really believe that Hashem creates us with intrinsic value, right? And with intrinsic, like you are a gift to the world. What are you going to do with it? Right? And so, yeah, I do. I think you're right. I don't think we talk about that enough.
We don't.
Because
we really don't.
There's so many amazing, I mean, everybody is talented in their own way. And I think so many of us don't even take the time to figure out what our talents are. And the other thing that I think is when you feel totally aligned with who you are, and you feel like you are sharing and you are using your gifts to to
help the world,
you're sharing and you are contributing, right?
Yeah,
you're contributing to the world. That's when you feel the most grounded and in tune, and like you are a happy, I don't know the word I'm trying to say. It's like you are a settled, grounded, happy person. That's when you make the biggest difference, right? That's when you can all of a sudden turn around and be a light onto the world and make the world a better place and bring godliness into the world. But if you're unsure of who you are, right? And you are not contributing in a way that makes you happy, in the way that's fulfilling, then you also aren't doing the other things in the greatest way either.
That's so interesting.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I am one-on-one with people, and I just see like this phenomenon that people are so, not everyone, but certain people are just so satisfied with just the regular ins and out of life and nothing outside of that. And I find it fascinating. Like there's no desire for something else. Sometimes I think like, am I crazy? Why do I have these desires? Like she's just so happy for me to design her home, and that's it. And like her family, her friends, and her nice house.
So I'm curious about that as well, because I have this conversation a lot with the people around me, because I feel the same way. Like I'm always searching to do something, right? To use my creative energies. And I can't even tell you how many people are like, are you not busy enough? Like, why did you start a podcast? And I can't even explain it to you. Like, it's just because like, I just want to. Like, I always wonder, and and I want to be clear that it's not a negative thing to
Not
be
at
really
all.
satisfied with your
Not at
life
all.
as it
Sometimes
is.
I'm
Like
like,
sometimes
wow.
I wish I could just
Yeah,
kind of just go about my day and not like have these big, huge dreams that are
exactly.
sometimes impossible. Like why? Like why do I always have to have these big plans? Like tone it down, like calm it down. But I do believe that, yeah, Hashem created all types, right? Like,
Right.
I wonder where that would fall out in human design. Is there like one of the types that
Ooh, I think projector is like on the lowest, not lowest, but like the least energy type. Like,
really?
yeah, I mean, reflector is the interesting one, which is kind of like you're a blank slate and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's energy like comes into you. So like you change depending on the situation you're in,
Oh,
which sounds
okay.
so hard. There's like the least reflectors in the world. It's
Yeah.
like a chameleon. Like you just change based on this. Like, I don't know how anyone would do that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like generator is about bringing your energy out. And then a manifestor is like you make things happen. And manifesting generator, I don't know. What I do know is if I would plug your date in,
Yeah.
and I could read it about you, you'd be like, oh my gosh. Like everyone I send it to, they're like, wow, this is me in a
Oh,
nutshell.
so is that how you do human design? You plug your date in?
Yeah, it's the same thing, like because
Astrology.
it's an offshoot of astrology. Human design, it's
Oh.
interesting, was only created, came out 28 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's super recent and it's a mix of I keep forgetting the word. What do you just say? Astrology.
Astrology. Yeah.
A little bit Kabbalah, which is super weird. Apparently, it was
Oh,
done by a non-religious Jew.
okay.
Like he was Jewish.
Okay.
Um, and like a bunch of other stuff. Like it's
Okay.
very, very interesting. But it's basically how to
Wow.
share your gifts with the world. So like I need an invitation and then I need to use my like heart. Like, do I want to do this? Like when you
Mm-hmm.
said you want to be on the podcast, it was like, yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about it.
Right.
So
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Totally.
this is like, this
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah.
Um,
It landed.
and like you will have to use it a totally different way. I don't
So
know
I'm
the other
curious now. I'm curious, like, what's my human design? Plug it
here.
in.
I'll plug it in one
Do
second.
it.
So I got the app
Yeah.
because I thought there was a connection to human design and these place types.
Okay.
And then I haven't seen that connection
Okay.
like
That's
after a while,
interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
but I just have the app now.
What I feel like it's another piece to the puzzle, right? Like we're
Yeah.
complex human beings. And I talk about this with healing all the time, right? It's like, is this going to heal me? Is meditation going to heal me? Is emotion code going to heal me? Is cold plunges going to heal me? Is acupuncture going to heal me? And I'm like, we are complex human beings. You'll probably need a lot of different things to heal whatever needs to be healed inside of you. Like there's no one quick fix or one quick answer, right? Because we are layered. And so maybe the cold plunge will address this and the meditation will address this and the breath work will address this. And I also feel like that's kind of like with our personalities, right? Like we're complex people. Everything's like a
Right.
little piece to the puzzle.
Yeah. Not one person is yet to tell me that they're an extrovert. And I'm like, too bad. Like your design is saying it's an extrovert. Like
Right.
I'm not doing it because you're saying you're not. But
Right.
like I want to know what makes someone an introvert or an extrovert scientific.
Right. Scientifically. Yes.
Like why?
Yes. It's so fascinating.
Every person thinks they're an introvert. Like people think I'm an extrovert, but I'm really an introvert. I'm like, hey, you're just an extrovert for this purpose.
Right.
You're an extrovert. But tell me your date of birth.
July 25th,
Okay,
1984.
1 second. July 25th. Okay, wait. 1984. July 25th, 1984. Birth time.
Like 7 p.m. ish.
Okay, you're really supposed to know exact, but I guess
Yeah. Okay. I have
we'll
to find out
see.
exactly.
7. Okay, it's going to 7:01 p.m. Okay, we'll do 7:01 p.m. Okay. And where? State, city, or town?
Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, wow. Brooklyn, New York. Okay, so let me just make sure. 25 July 1984, 7 p.m. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, you're a manifesting generator. and you should best make decisions on your emotional authority. So let's see. You have various passions and are meant to do many varied things in one lifetime. However,
Hmm.
we live in a world that tells you that in order to be happy or successful, you have to choose one lane to stay within it, which is just not true for you. Everything that sparks a passion inside you is trying to get you to follow it, and if you do, leads you right to everything you desire. Your challenge is to defy what society tells us about how to become happy and successful and show us a new way of doing it.
Hmm.
Manifesting Generator's gift to the world is to break us out of the boxes we live our lives in and expand our perspective on what's possible.
I feel like that's very me.
Yeah. You're
Oh
not
my God.
deciding, you don't decide, not people who decide they want to be accountants at age 18 and then do it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Life or the universe will push an MG to explore in many ways different directions because it wants you to create your unique blend of passions and turn it into a totally new life path that hasn't yet been seen or done. This can mean you either switch a totally new career or, okay, just
Yeah.
because no one's done it before doesn't mean that you can't create it.
Wow. Okay, this is very cool.
Yeah. When first exploring a passion, you get this surge of mastery so that you can quickly pick up a skill or lesson that will serve them further down the line. For this reason, it's not necessary for them to finish what they started or to see something through to the end. Even if you don't know how, that lesson or skill will come in handy. Trust that will make sense later. I could go on and on, but like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
But I get that's very cool. Okay, so I have to learn more about it. But
Yeah.
so basically, though, human design took you on the path.
Took me on a ride. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much.
it took you on a ride to kind
I
of
almost want to say my twins took me on a ride because I'm like,
right.
I would have just continued designing houses as I have always done. And
Yeah,
I needed this empty space of like, what's going on? What do I think about? Like, let me go
right.
deeper. So yeah, human design got me on a ride, and then it got me an even bigger ride because I started posting social media. And probably most people that are listening to this are not active creators on social media. I know you're big on the stories
Hmm.
and you post, you're a big sharer. I'm a very private person. So I'm not sharing like personal lives, and my family will never be on my social media page. Okay.
Yeah,
So people find a connection to you. So they like you post something, your likes are high, like there's a connection. Like I think
yeah,
so.
yeah. Okay,
For me,
thank you.
it's like, sometimes there's like crickets and it's
Mm,
hard to keep putting yourself out there when there's like
yes,
nothing. So
yeah.
that really took me on a ride of like self-discovering, perseverance, and like any lack and trying to get rid of it. And what do I actually care? And that got me into a whole nother section, which I don't know if we're even here for, but
Yes, we're here for it all. I want to hear that section. Tell me.
okay. So I got into I have a question on it. So I don't know if I should share the name and title of the person.
Okay,
Should I just
okay,
keep it like quiet? Okay. There's
sure.
someone on Instagram.
Okay.
He shares a lot about he calls it Kabbalah, right?
Hmm.
Honestly, it's nothing like people's like Kabbalah, you're not supposed to learn until 40. We
Yeah,
learned all the concepts. Like it wasn't like this scary thing. It's all in Hassidic. Like it's
yeah.
not so okay, he shares a lot about Kabbalah, and then he had this class on it that I started like taking.
Okay.
And he said something that I was like, wow, like why didn't we learn that? Like he like light bulbed my Hasidus upbringing for me. It
Yeah.
was he speaks about tikkun, like you're from past lives what you're supposed to correct. And
Hmm.
then somebody told me, by the way, we don't have any corrections. We're ready for Mashiach. I don't know. So I'm like,
Uh,
okay,
yeah. Okay.
like, okay, fine.
Putting that aside.
Let's put that aside. Okay. So he speaks a lot about like what your tikkun is and like from past lives, what you're supposed to correct, and then your purpose in life. All
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
So I remember learning as a girl this same concept, like literally like in elementary school. And they said, like, so choose any commandment, any mitzvah that's like really hard for you. And then like you'll know that that's your ticket. So they're like, if
Mm,
sneeze is hard for you, that's your ticket. And I remember thinking, like,
ah,
what if no mitzvah is that hard for you? Like
right.
this doesn't make so much sense. Like
Right.
sneeze is your ticket. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right. I also remember learning that and also remember thinking here and hearing maybe even the opposite. Like if you're really passionate about giving tzedakah, right? Or in giving charity, like
that's because that's the thing that you need to rectify from a previous generation. And you need to be doing that. So you're so passionate about it. So it could go either way. So it's like, how do you know?
So interesting. So he switched that whole thing for me, which was anytime you have lack within yourself, that is your soul's rectification from past lives.
Okay,
so
wait
you
a second.
have,
That's
right?
huge.
I was like, whoa. And what's lack? Fear, jealousy, anger. Anytime you're not like at peace, total peace, you, God, total peace, there's like this lack. Social media is like the perfect no likes. Like, oh my God, I feel lack. Nobody cares about me. Nobody's seeing me. You see someone down the street that you feel is like cooler than you, or like, you weren't invited. There's lack. Everyone has different lacks. That could be no lack for someone else. Someone else's lack could be, I don't know. It could be anything, like literally. But just take away mitzvah with lack, and that is like your soul.
Okay,
so rectify.
So what you're saying is that anytime we feel, and it's kind of what we were saying before, right? Like, do we have a mission? Do we not have a mission?
Yeah.
Right? It's like anytime you feel unease, right? And you're not like centered and you're not at peace. I love what you said about at peace. And it's like a soul peace, right? Like if you're, then that is your invitation
to bring godliness into your, like, connect to the light. He likes to say very Kabbalistic terms, connect to the light, feel the pain until the pain subsides, allow the pain to go in, and speak to the creator, speak to God, just like until, and like have conversations. He's like, if you're having more conversation with human beings than with God, then something's off. His business, he's a multi-billionaire. He like grew his business like crazy. I was just listening to one of his podcasts.
Wow.
Like, it brings your blessings into wealth. His whole thing, like, I got into it because it was also like how to scale your business like crazy and like think differently. So it was like bring the spirituality within.
That's so beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of like the abundance mindset, right? Like, when we feel fear, right? That's like kind of like a message of like, what is it that, like, what's the lack, right?
Exactly.
What's the lack that you're facing? And then kind of neutralizing that lack is God, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and like a stupid example, it can be such silly example. This morning when I was like, I have to tell you that I might not be able to make this podcast. There was this like, okay, it's okay. Because I am never that person that is not going to be showing up. I have things like we made up where, I like to present like almost not, I'm not going to say this perfect persona, but like, I have it together and like, to say like, I have my needs also, just like, you're okay. You're a regular person. Like, and that's okay.
It's so interesting that you say that, because what happened for me was such a similar experience. I was like, I got the message in the morning and I was like, okay, like, we'll figure this out. We're going to make it work. And I was like reflecting on myself. Like, I think maybe 5 years ago, it would have brought on anxiety, right? Like, oh my goodness, like, what are we going to do? And I have a recording schedule, and the schedule is based on when things need to be edited and based on when things need to be launched. And like, everything's going to get messed up. And, I wouldn't freak out because I'm not such a freaker outer, but it would bring some anxiety up for me. And when you posted me that message, I was like, okay, like, we're going to figure this out. And
you were so sweet.
When you lean into, but it was an inner peace. It was like when you lean into like, God has a plan.
Yeah.
Right. And if it's meant, and if it's meant to happen today, it will happen today.
Yeah.
And if it's not meant to happen today, it wasn't supposed to happen today, and it will figure itself out.
Exactly. And that's what, you know what? She's in school and we were able to do it. I feel like we just needed that. So that's the whole idea. It's in little life things.
Yes. Wow. So
it's really deep.
It's really, no, but it's deep, but it's
not. But like, you brought it down to our level of everydayness. I was like, finally, this makes sense. So, I mean, there's so much. Like,
there's so much
in it. I'll tell you what was bothering me about it and why I didn't share who it was because in the classes that I took, I always like to bring, if this is really truth, I know for a fact Torah is truth.
Right.
God's Torah, her Sinai, right? Like there's no undeniable fact.
Right.
I see people going on spiritual journeys and just the Torah part gets
pushed aside.
it pushes out a little bit more comfortable. So for me, I did his classes. There was a kippah. He's not Chabad or anything, but there was like a kippah on his head. And now there's not. And it's like slicked back. And it's like, why couldn't it translate into, I know that this God and this same God gave me the commandments to keep because he said to do it. So the same way I'm bringing my godliness into me, into my everyday life, he told me, you might not understand this commandment, but do it. And I always, not always, but a lot of times see this like spirituality and then the commandments. And it's like, oh, wait. But they have crazy success in their lives, which is amazing. And so that's like my only like ick about it. And like maybe that's me judging. But like I'm not trying to judge him. I don't care. It's more like the upsetness for me. It's like,
how do I know this is truth?
How do I know it's true?
Right. Right. You know, it's really interesting. I feel like we align a lot in the way that our brains work. And I wrestle with that a lot. I don't know, like we have a lot of things to cover here, but I wrestle with this, the spirituality and the actions and how we see a lot of times nowadays that those two are mutually exclusive, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
And should they be like, and that's the thing, like I really hear you when you say it's not coming from a judgment place of that person, because it's the same for me. Like I'm not judging any person that whatever they're doing in their life, but there is kind of like this judgment that comes up. Like, how do we reconcile being so close to God and being so spiritual about it and having real, true, honest connection to God? Even, you know, sometimes you see it even more than the people that are keeping every little thing, right? The spirituality and the godliness shines through. And then you see in their actions or the things that they do or the things that how they dress or whatever doesn't always align. And I don't know if we're going to answer that question, but I think a lot of people have struggles around this because to me, I'm always like, it's just confusing, right? Like it's confusing and we don't necessarily have like this, and it brings us back to like this black and white. You know, we like to think things in black and white and what makes sense in our head. And it's either this or this. And I think this kind of experiences forces us to like take a deep breath and be like, it's not black and white, right? Like, it's not black and white. I maybe don't understand this, but I do think that the concept resonates because it is truth, right?
It is truth.
It is truth. If you're in lack and you're in fear, and you are in a space where you're not in peace, what do you, right? Like
you can't bring in the abundance. Like I know it's truth.
Right. And especially because he's like, you bring in God, right? It all comes back to like this ultimate kind of this trust, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
This trust that there is a bigger picture and it's all going to be okay. Like it will be okay. Right. And we might have a bunch of bumps on the path to that. But I'm also a really, really big believer, and maybe because it's just my life experience and I don't want to put this on anybody and put down anybody's challenges because especially, I mean, there's so much pain and struggles and challenges that we experience. I'm speaking for myself and my experience, every challenge that I've been through and every like bump on the road and every really like uncomfortable, hard situation, I really do feel this idea that this particular struggle was tailor-made for me because that's what my soul needed to reach its true potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's a huge thing. Like, thank you. You literally said what this is about also, because it's like, let's say somebody has had dysfunctional parents.
Yeah.
You are not the victim of that. Your soul contract had to rectify something and they chose the dysfunctional parents in order to bring that out. I don't know why that example came up at all.
It's such a good example. And I was literally going to bring in literally the same example of like parents and children, right? Like we choose each other.
Yeah.
We choose each other. And even if it feels really painful at times, like that was the correct match to bring out whatever needed to be brought out. And I use this in parenting all the time because I feel so out of my depth sometimes. Sometimes when I'm in my emotional fear brain, I'm like, I am not cut out for this. Like I am underqualified. I do not know what I'm doing, right? But then when I'm back into my logical, or maybe not logical, but like trusting brain, I'm like, no, like I'm the right parent for these children. Hashem put us together. And just like they are the right children for me, like these are the children that I need, and I'm the parent that they need.
So beautiful. And it's
Isn't
so
that
true.
amazing?
And it's crazy and it's amazing. And just to share like something, like, I don't know if I should share this, but I'll just share it and you can always cut it.
We have the ability.
Yeah. One of the things that in these classes that I was taking, it was like, if you want like a fast forward situation, think of someone that you could ask what they really either dislike about you or what gets them nervous. And that's part of your thing to change over. So like, don't overthink it. Just think in your mind somebody and call them. And he's like, I'm waiting for you. Call them. And I know you're going to think of 100 excuses why not to call them. And my brain was like, okay, I know exactly who to call. And my heart started beating like crazy.
Oh my gosh, my heart's beating just thinking about it.
I haven't spoken to this person in 10 years. She just completely like turned on me. And like, it was the hardest year of my life, like literally. And I'm like, what? She really, like, there was hatred from her that entire year. And like, I'm a pretty nice person.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself. Like, someone just glaringly like hating on you and just like, you cannot be in your zone because you have this like hate, negativity, energy. And I called her up and it was so hard. And I'm like, what?
I can't believe you did that, first of all. So brave.
I can't either. My heart was pounding.
Speechless.
Like literally. I'm like, what did you hate? I'm like, how are you? She's like, I follow you, whatever. Spoke about her design. She's like, why are you calling? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just want to know, like, because I want to see what I could change within myself. And this will like help benefit me just get to my next level. What bothered you so much about me? She's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling. Like,
I have chills.
Wow, like so much closure from this year. And you really just give me like the opportunity to apologize to you. I can't even tell you one thing that you should change. I'm like, seriously? The whole point is to give me the thing that I need to change. Don't be like sweet on me. She's like, no, it was all just lack within myself that I saw that you had and I couldn't. And I was in such a bad place. I literally just saw you doing it. It wasn't what I wanted to hear. I actually wanted to hear what she hated like about me so that I could improve. Like, am I too easygoing? Do I try to put on this perfect persona that everyone loves me and not cheering up about? Like, I was waiting for things. I thought, she's like, I can't think of anything. It was just like all my negativity was just like shining out from like what you were doing. But it was a really hard year. But anyways, it was a nice thing to do. That's what also I was like, hey, you said like get one person to like tell you, and like it totally didn't work out. But maybe I was meant to call her anyways.
Well, you know what? What comes up for me when you share that story. First of all, you were ready to hear it. Like, that's a huge step. Like, I don't know how many people would do that. I don't even know if I could. I don't know. Like, just the thought of that makes me want to like bury myself somewhere. But it's such a powerful thing. But I think I don't know, like just hearing this from an objective perspective, like what was meant to be taken away from that is that when we dislike somebody and we show hatred as an extreme version or show like annoyance or no tolerance for somebody, it's usually a lack within us.
Totally.
And I think that she like explained that so well.
It's been like 13 or 14 years. So
she had time to work on and understand that. But I say this all the time to myself because something will annoy me or someone will annoy me. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. Like, why is this bothering me? Like, this is a me problem. It's not a her problem. It's a me problem.
Which is back to the lack within you. You see her, you feel lack. And that's what you have to work on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
I mean, it's really crazy how, if you think about it, being an interior designer, and you could think is not such a spiritual job,
I know it's becoming pretty spiritual. What can I tell
Look
you?
on the path that it took you on. Okay, you had the twins, you had now space, right?
Yeah.
Which is the other thing that is so important that I think is hard for people. It's very hard to make space for change. It's really difficult. It's uncomfortable. It's brutal, right? When you're either not fulfilling your potential or you're not in this place where you're contributing, right? Like it's a hard place to be, but it's so beautiful when you can lean into it and realize that the space is telling you something, right? It's giving you room and opportunity for expansion. Because if you're going from one thing to the next and one thing to the next and you never stop, you're not growing, right? You're not changing and evolving. You're just going from one thing to the next. But this space allows for so much growth. And so literally it took you on this beautiful journey from human design to this Kabbalah class to now being able to come back to your profession, right?
Yeah.
In such a more intentional and deep way. Because what I came away with was like, wow, I actually learned something about myself through this process. And as we know, the more we align and attune with ourselves, the more present we are for everybody else. So let's go back for a second. And we got on so many amazing discussions. I don't even think we even shared like, okay, what are these place types? How did you kind of figure out how to use this in your business? And I would like to hear a little bit about each place type. I think that would be really interesting.
Okay, sure. So there are 8 place types. I like to call it the 4 introverted categories and the 4 extroverted categories, even if you don't think you're an extrovert.
Okay.
So the first one is maestro. I like to start with that because that's what I find myself in. And when I read about maestro, I knew it was like for sure, definitely a lot of me, because one of the things it said is that at night, like after you're done with the day, kind of, and going into the night, you just need your time alone without someone questioning what you need to do. It's like, hey, what are you doing? I just need my peace.
Yeah.
Like, let me do my own thing for an hour or whatever it is. And just like, I'm like, oh my God, that's so me. It like says like, you should have your own area in your room, like your own little desk or chair, like just like chill before going to bed. And if you have 2 maestros, like spouses, then you should have 2 designated spots. I'm like, oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
So
this is landing.
I would say I'll pair it to like designers and people could like check out the designers. Cause like, I think like
idea.
that
Helps up visualize.
Yeah. So a lot of people know I Swoon, Athena Calderon. I would say she's super maestro. It's a lot of taking inspiration from old world design, which is why I'm like, there's some overlap to the Guardian, because you're taking like from palaces and all that and like the old world feel, but you're always making it a little bit more relevant to today and not like so old fashioned. There's going to be that modern chair. It's not going to be that olden day chair. You're going to have the round, like look at her collab with Crate and Barrel. It's like old world, but very present. It's not old fashioned at all.
It's the inspiration of it, right? It's like
it's the inspiration. You literally took inspiration and brought it into today.
Okay, I love that. Okay.
So yeah, that very much speaks to me. And it's a lot of curves because, okay, I'll get into the 3 questions like after.
Okay.
Then Maven. So I actually just did a collab with Yali Vogel. She's a Maven.
Okay.
And not necessarily will you have to like her exact house in order to be a Maven, but that just gives you an idea. You like pretty stuff. And you can ask, like, doesn't everybody like pretty stuff? No, pretty is not really in my vocabulary when I design. Cool, odd,
Edgy.
weird, edgy, interesting, soulful, but she could also say soulful, but like not pretty. Like I said, I don't have flowers. I don't even care for flowers that much. I mean, beautiful flowers, sure.
Yeah.
But like they're not I'd rather like this beautiful sculpted candle holder with candles. Like, I don't need the flowers in my life as much. And like, of course, flowers are beautiful. Like, I'm not going to say not.
Right. No, but you get what you're saying. There's different levels.
You won't find floral art in my house ever. I want a sculptured art. I want interesting, weird.
Yeah.
So that's Maven, literally like prettiness. Like it's really so Kara Woodhouse is my favorite. From my maestro perspective, I think Kara Woodhouse Interiors, you could check it out if you're listening to this.
I have to write all these names
is
down.
the coolest maven because there is that bit of edginess. So it's just like super fun. It's also like fun colors, like pops of fun. Okay, so that's Maven, but nothing too weird at all. It'll never be like weird.
Okay.
Then you have the Sage, which is like much more refined, quiet luxury. It's almost like the Park Avenue homes that they show. It's like super luxe, a tall building, like everything's just like, well, people think that like the highest business people, like they must have those types of home to like correlate. But really, if your personality is different, you shouldn't. But like when you're saying like highest, like top design, you're thinking Sage. So like my thing is that like have all the money you want. If you're an extrovert, design it differently. That's my thing.
Yeah.
And then you have Investigator, which I like to call it just super Scandinavian. Like all the Australians design in like the Scandinavian manner, that's Investigator. They like interesting technology in their homes. So like the beds that like
yeah, everything's like high tech.
Yeah, high tech. The beds that move to your comfort level. I mean, they really do make the best designs like smartly that we should all be using
like
in our homes.
Ergonomic, like that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And especially like I was gonna say, like instead of having the bulky outlets on your counter, they're the ones that have those simple round thing that you can perfectly put that's gorgeous on your counter backslash instead of like it's even nicer than like the ones that are hidden because here, it just looks so beautiful.
Yeah.
So that's like all the Scandinavians, Investigators.
Okay.
That's the 4. And then we'll go to the extroverts. So we'll start with Guardian. Now, I like to say there's 2 types of Guardians. There's like that classic straight lined, like clean lines, more modern Guardian. And then there's like the traditional Guardian with like the curves and also like a lot of, I don't know why they love like the green and the blue. So like the floral, there's so many on Instagram. Like I could just like put
a
like
lot of Guardian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think just like the Guardians, they're officially extroverted. So even though a lot of them say they're introverts, they're very comfortable sharing and they're also conscientious. So they get things done orderly. Okay. So I would say like, be careful. You may want like the Guardian designing your home because it looks like she's super like conscientious, it's going to be the Guardian style. People don't know how to get out of their design style. They don't see another way. And like the straight Guardian is like the Baccarat Hotel. I like to say like Esther and Sasha's home. Like Esther and Sasha, why is she like able to like put on that floofy gown for the Purim costume? Because she's feeling it in her modern house. It's like the 2 are there, but she's just putting it in modern. You get it?
Yeah, I see that. Totally.
Yeah. Then we have the Dynamo. I actually love the Dynamo style, and a lot of people can handle it. It's Danielle Bernstein, We Were What style.
Okay. It's like boho, right? Like
boho, but it's also rustic.
Yes.
There's a lot of the wood elements. I do find a lot of beauty in it. But some people, like I was just like speaking to someone, like it causes me anxiety. Like I can't look at it.
I appreciate
like
it.
Yeah, you should appreciate it.
I do.
Yeah. As an adventurer that you are, which is like a lot of color on color, pattern on patterns, just like a lot going on, but not crazy colors. You're not going to have primary colors going on. No. It's going to be softer, muted tones.
Softer, muted colors, tone patterns.
Yeah.
But I also don't like clutter.
Yeah, because again, you're conscientious. So you don't like clutter. So like, that's what I liked about the tips at the end. It said like have closed cabinets, don't have the open for stress.
When I was designing my kitchen, my mother has the kitchen that I didn't grow up in, but when I was 18 years old, we moved out of the Chabad house. We lived in the Chabad house till I was 18 years old, which is very formative. Definitely like builds character. So when I was 18 in seminary, my parents were building a house. So they built a kitchen and there's a few cabinets that have like glass where you can see through. And I just remember thinking like when I was redoing my kitchen about 11 years ago here in Bozeman, I was like, no see-through cabinets.
That's so funny.
Like, you know, the open shelving that everybody like, I'm like, what a nightmare. Why would you want that? But like, I feel like in order to have open shelving, you need to be a minimalist, right?
Yeah.
And I am not a minimalist. I'm a maximalist.
Right.
So I want all the stuff behind closed doors.
Exactly. Which is why I love this, because it's true and true time after time. Every person I'm designing for, every person I speak to, it's just the way their brains work. So that's really what it is.
Right.
The way your brain is working, which has to do with the way you're living in your design to get to your highest aligned space. That's all.
Right.
It's like pretty simple.
Right. Okay. So the boho style, which was what? We sidetracked.
The dynamo.
Dynamo.
So like
okay.
we were what? And then we have adventure. Oh, the maverick is like the crazy. So that is like the primary colors.
Yeah, like the bright
red,
neon yellow and orange, and
yeah. So I like did a post on it on Stacey Benditt's home.
Yes, yes, I saw that.
So that it's like the crazy, like whoa, out there people. Yeah, of course they need like all the energy. In their house. So this book actually tells you, like, even though you're all that, you should kind of tone it down a little, because like everybody
needs some downtime.
Such a crazy space. It's interesting. Her bedroom is more relaxing than her living room and everything. But I mean, imagine having like two of those place types designing for each other. I almost feel like it's good to have someone else in a different place type to kind of like settle you down for these crazinesses. It's very interesting. I also like to say that like this is going to be I think an introvert can design better than an extrovert. I don't know. That's just like my personal thing.
Yeah.
They're much more like, they don't need to answer right away. Like, I don't need to give you that answer. I'm like, it's okay. I'm like, oh, I can think about that. I'll let you know. Let me give it some thought. Like, extroverts are like, on the minute. Yeah, no. And then, like, I'm not going to go back on my word and say, like, no. Like, more fluid, more. It's very interesting.
So the adventurer, which is my place type, is, you said, like, very pattern.
Yeah, pattern on pattern. Also, like, loves those tiles, like Moroccan tiles, deluge, all that stuff.
What's an adventurer, like, interior designer? Do you know one?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I thought of one per se. I actually want to know what Jeff Shelton, architect, is. I don't know if you follow him, but he basically did in California. Now I forgot where in California, of course, but like this whole city in his designs, but it looks like the Spanish, like it basically looks like you're in Spain.
Yeah.
So it's very colorful, a lot of pattern, but it's more primary colors, very bright. That's where I'm on the cusp. Like if he's the maverick or the adventure, I almost want to say he's the adventure because it's just like fun. It's not like crazy.
It's very interesting because like when I see these like really clean, simple spaces that are like elevated luxury, like you can tell they're gorgeous and beautiful. And I can appreciate it, but I'm like, it's so boring. You know, like where's for me, it's like, where's the texture? Where's the layered aspect to it?
And on the flip side, they'll look at what you appreciate and they'll be like, this is so mediocre and so not polished. And like, whoa, she has no idea what they're doing. Which, going back to, I'll bring in human design one more time.
Yeah.
I did do that. Okay. If you're not aligned with yourself, there's the not self, which is almost like she says, bitterness. Not because I had bitterness, but
you had like a judgy. Yeah.
I looked at other designers and be like, what is she doing? And how does she have that many clients? And her designs are so bad. Like literally, I feel like, what is this? Like slapping your tile on the wall. I still agree with this. But like just choosing a tile and putting on your bathroom didn't make a design. Like, what are you doing?
No.
You know? But that's not. I still agree with that.
You have to, like you said, you have to be conscientious and you have to like have intention and have good taste. Like there's good taste and not good taste. I mean, I guess it's a little bit relative, but I guess there's quality and not quality.
Yeah. Well, some people are really lacking taste. They really are. Like, I'm not going to say that all design are good because they can fit into 8 categories. I'm like, let's figure out your style and then figure out what the good design in that category is.
There could be bad designs.
Yeah. But it's really interesting.
It is. So it's very interesting for me because I've shared this before, but when I moved to Montana almost 18 years ago.
Oh, wow.
We moved, we didn't have kids. And when you're starting up a new Chabad house, a new center, like it takes time, but when you're new, like there's not that much to do, right? You're just establishing yourself. And there's only so many classes you can give and so many coffee dates you can have and so many programs you can do when you're just starting, right? It's not very busy, especially in a small town. And I was bored. I was so bored. And I remember thinking like, wow, people don't realize how much time their kids take up, right? So like when you move shluchos into a new city or whatever, and you're building your community, but 75% of the time you're taking care of your family, right? Yeah. And so when I didn't have that, I was like, wow, I'm so bored. Like I got to do something. And I've always loved design. I've always loved creating a pretty space. And so I went to school. I went to college here in Bozeman, local college.
No way.
And I went to school for 2 years because I didn't have like an end game or like an end goal to be a designer. So I didn't do any of the core classes. And I just did the fun stuff. And I only did a few classes a week because I still wanted to build my community. And so I never finished. I never got my degree, but I spent 2 years in design school. And
no way. I never knew that. I love that.
Yeah, it was so fun. I have such fond memories of that time. And, it was a long time ago. It was like 16, 17 years ago. So I don't have any like practical skills. I spent a lot of time, like there's a lot of architect stuff involved in design school and like the drawing of the plans, which we don't do so much anymore. Math, like I was like, I hate math. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
But what I think the value of, first of all, it was fun, right?
Yeah.
And it was so interesting to me because it was a subject that I loved, right? But what I think it provided for me is that when I look back at that time, I don't have this like, poor you, right? Like you were so bored, you didn't have any kids and you were just miserable. I can look back at that time and was like, wow, that was so fun, right?
I love that.
I was bored and I did something, like I was creative. Now, people might say like, that's very out of the box, which I feel like fits for my human design, right? We're out of the box.
Yeah.
There's a very out of the box thinking for a Chabad shlucha to go to college, right? Like already as a shlucha, like there's people who do it now. They go to school and they get their degree in education or whatever. Like it's more common. I don't know if it's super common, but it's not unheard of.
Right.
But it was an out of the box thing to do. And that's kind of what makes it fun.
Exactly, by the way.
The more out of the box, the better it is.
Yeah, the more daring, the more fun it is.
Yeah. So I really appreciate, like a lot of my feed is design stuff.
It is. It really is. And I love that.
Because, I mean, not even the feed that I create, but the feed that take in.
You consume.
Yeah, that I consume, like is a lot of design stuff. That's why when people are so depressed going on Instagram, I'm like, what are you looking at? I'm looking at pretty houses and gardens.
Looking at inspiration.
Yeah, and gardens and flowers, and you're looking at the news. Don't look at the news. Like you won't be depressed.
Literally.
Yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. What's interesting about this also is that it's not spoken in this book, but I can totally see the correlation to clothing because fashion and are interlinked.
For sure.
So it's for sure. Like, wow.
I mean, look at you, right? Like you are in monochromatic, solid colors. Your house is monochromatic pretty much, right?
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. My downstairs space was done like 5 years after my upstairs space. So there is that. But I wouldn't say that my upstairs is not me, just like my downstairs is a developed me.
Right. It's a more mature, more intentional you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you do see that. I mean, you see how people dress is how, like I'm in a yellow shirt right now. Like, if you're not seeing the video, like
yellow shirt, green background, and that
flowers, plants,
whatever that is.
This is not, doesn't have a home yet, but this was done for my birthday. It's like this cup of blessing where you pour. My husband arranged for it. So it's really not, hasn't found its home yet.
Okay, fine.
That's a little bright even for me. That's a little colorful even for me. But it's really fun.
I love that you have the plant on the other side though.
Yeah. So you said, okay, so 8 place types.
Okay. And how do we get to that?
How do you get to that?
How do
Yeah.
you get to that? So there's 3 questions you have to ask yourself.
Okay.
And I like to use these 3 questions to like get me started, but I never like end with that because a lot of times people don't know the right answer within themselves, which I'm still, I
Mhm.
guess, on a mission to explore. That's why I thought human design could give me the answer. It'll be like, your arrows point this way, so no, you're this. But no, that did not work out.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So the first question is introvert or extrovert? Like, which one are you? Then, are you conscientious or easygoing? And the last question is, do you like to try new things or do you like to do tried and true?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's really fascinating because I was just with someone the other day and well, like, we went to the furniture show, right? And
Yes.
somebody tells me, and she's like, I look at my house, the 2 arches, and I just want to square it off. It's getting me so mad. I want to make it straight. I can't look at it anymore.
Wow.
And she's like, I love this couch. And it's like the straightest, clean lined couch. And I'm going to all the curves. I'm like, so good. This sofa is so good. This
Yeah.
curve. You're like, yeah, I guess. It was like, I don't want it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so true how we're attracted to the things. And people don't know about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
nobody really knows about this. So you're just not sure. There's so much confusion out there. Which
Yeah.
sofa should you get? How should you design your house? The curves are in one day, the straight lines are in the next. Like,
Yeah.
what are you
Also
supposed to
trends.
do?
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with trends within your place type?
Yeah. So first of all, like if you like the trend, it can be implemented within each place type because you can have, let's say like the pop of red. You can do that in like the cleanest line, just like have like this clean red art in this like wooden space. So cool. Or you can
Mm,
have this like red velvet armchair in your guardian style old fashioned house, right? So there's
mm-hmm.
always ways to do it,
Incorporate the trends.
incorporate the trends, but only incorporate a trend if you really love it. Don't ever hop on trends if it's just a trending because it's being out in 6 months. And
Yeah.
most people are not doing their home over every 6 months.
Right. It's so hard with trends, I find, with your home. Because it's one thing to have like us clothing and you can easily add trends or not. But when the trends, like when we start to see like trend shifts and the trend of the home, it's so hard because most people don't have the ability to
Yeah.
keep reinventing their home according to the trends. And then what happens is because we are so inundated with so many images and we see everything and there's like everything's in our face, like you start to see it, see it, see it, see it, see it. And then you like almost like,
You're like, what? My house, like,
yeah,
what?
like
What am I
almost like
supposed to like? What do I
yeah,
not like?
do I like this because I like it or do I like it because I've just gotten so used to seeing it all the time that I got used to it and now I think I like it. And
Absolutely.
it's so crazy.
It's so crazy, which is why I was so passionate about this also. It was 2 parts from people not knowing what to do and just being confused, or from people doing the same thing as their entire community. I can't tell you how many showrooms I go to and we're like choosing, let's say, chairs, and like they show it to me on their screen and like people's houses. So like we get a better picture of it. And I'm like, there's 2 types of homes in this entire like
Yeah.
grid of
Oh,
100 pictures. It's either the old fashioned with like the old wooden credenza type of thing,
mhm.
or it's the new modern fake porcelain tiles, which everyone knows I hate the fake
Yeah.
porcelain tiles. Either you could do the marble and afford it,
Right.
or just don't do the
Don't
fake
do it.
porcelain. Just
Yeah.
don't. With like the straight 3-step molding design, it's so modern, so cool, but it's really not. It's like how much?
Be original.
Yeah, be original. People listening to this, like even if you are very conservative in the way you dress and you don't want to dress colorful and stuff like that, you're able to do your house in any way you want. There's no rules on the house, you know?
Right. There's also no like I always say like everyone is unique in a certain way, right? Everyone has something about them that's unique. So I don't know. Let it out.
Yeah, show it. Let it out. Yeah. If you like a colorful space, be colorful. If not,
Yeah.
then go monochromatic and simple and soothing.
I remember I posted it. Well, maybe it was like about a year ago. Like there was for a long time, the trend was like these white on white kitchens, right? And that was just
Yeah.
like forever. And it was just like everything you saw was like this white on white, and it's like very clean,
Nothing there.
sterile. It almost
Yeah.
felt like a sterile space. And when we started to see color come a little back and we started to see like some depth and some warmth, I remember posting, I'm like, oh my gosh, finally, for the people who love color and for the people who love
Yeah.
not just white on white, like I was finally like, oh my gosh, I could breathe again, because it's
Yeah.
hard when you see something and you're like, well, is something wrong with me that I don't like that?
Exactly.
Like
why
what's
don't I like it? 100%. And you know, color came back a lot. So
I did.
it really
I'm a
did.
very happy person. Like I love that.
It has made a big comeback. Now it's almost like the white spaces are like, are they too white? You know?
I think so. And listen, it works for certain people. Like certain people like to have that sterile space. Like I understand. But for me, like my biggest pet peeve in the design world was like the white kitchens. I could not take it.
For sure.
I can't.
For
Like
sure.
where's like, what, are you cooking in here? Like what's happening in here?
Oh my gosh. So for me, I always hated the gray.
Yeah.
And I will say gray
It's coming
is
back,
not-
right?
No, I don't know
No?
if it's coming back, but like people should not paint their homes gray. It's a very depressing color, which is why it's in prison jail cells. It calms you down. So like instantly you go into a gray room, you'll get
And you're
calm.
like mellow.
But then spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, depression seeps in, which is why they literally paint dungeons gray. So like you should never have gray on your walls.
But that was a huge trend for a while.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's interesting that you say that.
It needs to have a like if we want gray, there needs to be texture in it. There needs to be like some
Yeah. And there's different types of gray, but
right.
Yeah.
It can't just be a flat pink gray on the wall.
it's interesting that you say that about the color of the walls, because we just redid the Protective Child Services. They have a building and they have a room for where they like have kids who are in transition, right? They're not allowed to be in their home anymore and they're waiting for a foster family, and or that room's used for like supervised visits. Like if a parent is trying to earn back custody with their child, but they can't be alone with them, they go to that room and there's toys and they play. So it was very, 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 I did speak about this on Instagram a little bit, but it was very dated and it was unorganized and it was cluttered and it was like furniture falling apart. And so the Shola Bozeman, which my husband and I took upon ourselves to redo that room for the CPS, for Child Protective Services. It was a really fun project. And my husband and I got into this like little argument because it was a very busy time and he likes to get things done, right? Like super fast and like no like procrastination. And yeah, it's just like, we just got to get it done. And Erev Yontif, he's like, okay, the painters are coming on Friday and they're going to paint. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, I didn't choose a paint color. It's Erev Yontif now. Like, what? Like, he's like, well, we're just going to paint it white. And I'm like, no, we're not just going to paint it white. Like, there's intention behind this. Like, I have a vision. Like, I want the walls to be a very calming green, because green is calming and healing and grounding. And then he's like, well, then you have to go pick paint. But I'm like, but it's Erev Yontif and I can't pick paint right now. So it was like this thing that we had to work through. We did a very good job of working it through, but it was a little bit.
Wow.
I ended up like picking a paint color from online and being like, I hope this is going to be a good color. I mean, I have a little bit of experience. So I was just like, I think this is going to work. And they ended up painting it on Friday and it was a beautiful color. And I was, but
amazing.
It just goes back to this, like, it matters what you put on your wall. And especially you have kids who are in such a rough spot. You want the space to have a certain energy. You want the space to feel a certain way. And color really does that. Subconsciously, you know, like some people will feel it right away. But even so, like you said, like you walk into a gray room and you might not feel it right away, but it wears on you.
Exactly.
Right? At the end of the day, like you're like, why am I so depressed? Because you've been in a gray room for 6 hours.
Literally. Oh, I love that. I'm going to go back to your post because I know you posted and I want to look at the green because I wasn't like thinking about that.
Yeah.
Fun.
So, I mean, listen, I did the best I could with an hour's notice and from a computer.
Great.
But the color was very good. And we had a space and we worked with what we had and we got furniture, like Ashley Furniture. The manager was just amazing. He's like really wanted to be a part of it and gave us, furniture that was just really perfect for the space. Would I put that in my home? Not necessarily, but that's not what this is about, right?
Exactly.
It's about like space that just feels also like it was so important for me, like talking about clutter. Like if you can see the before and after photos, and there was just like clutter everywhere, clutter. It's like, how is anybody supposed to breathe in this room? Like, how are you supposed to just like, so everything has a spot. There's not like too many toys, right? It's pared down. There's like easy to clean up.
Yeah.
Like, just someone thought about it, right? It's an intentional space. Somebody cares enough to like give these kids a safe space that actually feels safe, right? Not just physically safe, but actually feels safe. That was like a fun project, but relating back to color. So it's interesting when colors are on trend. Like, speak to that for a second.
Yeah. Well, there's literally people who are in charge of creating trends. Like that's their job because that creates people to buy things.
Consumerism.
So, exactly.
You got to keep changing it up or else we'd never buy anything.
It every few months. And it becomes a little bit too much. Like now the burgundy, like everybody has the burgundy. And I love that color. But it's just like, wow, the internet is saturated. I think also because we live in such a internet base where you see millions of people, if you want to, just like doing, it's like, it's too much.
Yeah, it's interesting because I do think the color palette is like helpful to understand one part of your personality. And then these place types are another, and then you kind of get this full rounded picture. But as a spring, officially, springs love trends.
Oh.
But I'm also very like averse to things that everybody has. Like I'm an individualist. Like if it's burgundy, I'm probably not going to buy it. Like that's me, right?
Right. It's interesting because a maestro does like trends a bit. It's like, I don't know if I wouldn't buy it, but like it would have to be an interesting piece.
Yeah.
Like it would have to really talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so interesting.
It is. It's really fascinating. But it's like, if you think about how trends are set, like I always am curious about that. I always think about that. I'm like, who decided that this is the color of the season and this is the like we should now wear 6-inch platforms? Like who decided that?
It's fascinating. You know what? I'm gonna dig deeper into that because I'm so curious, like myself, the way the whole system works. But it's literally.
And it has to be in advance because, right, these designers are like already planning like summer 2026 or whatever they're doing, like.
Right. And the trends are out.
Like this is what's going to be coming, right? Not yet, but it's coming. I'm like, how does that work?
Yeah. All on committees behind the scene. And we're just going as flock to the sheep.
I was going to say, like, and why are we like sheep and just accepting this?
Yeah.
Who decided that this is what we should do?
Because going back to the cool people are doing it. And we want to be like the top. We always want to like, oh, they're doing it. I should be doing it.
Yeah.
And there's so little thought for yourself these days. So hard to think for yourself. And people are just like, you're always looking at people like higher up. I don't know. It's a lot.
Yeah. Do you have, being that you're really in this business and you have to, when you're designing somebody's home, like you hope that they really can be in tune with who they are because this is kind of permanent, right? You don't want to have to change your home every few years. Like, so how do you coach people or do you coach people through really asking themselves the questions? Like, do you really like this or this is just because everybody else has it or?
Yeah, it's really interesting because I find that the people most similar to me, first of all, a lot of times designers are going to just attract the same type that they are because it's what's on their page, right?
Totally.
I think what was different for me is that I was struggling to figure out my own design style years ago. And there wasn't that much posting going on. So like you had like the more colorful, I would say, images down on the bottom of my feed. And people actually got attracted to that. And they're like, oh, there's a designer that likes color. And I actually got a lot of people, I would say, like in the Guardian or like that type of Guardian mixed adventure, more like the clean Guardian, but still like color, like the Bluebell, that's so fun and that stuff. And I'm like, I'm over this. But like they want it. They hired me for this. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going along with this. So there was a lot of putting me to the side always from an early age, like. And that's why also I was just telling someone I never felt the need. Did I say this in the beginning of the podcast?
I
That I
don't think
didn't
so.
feel the need to photograph the spaces
No, I don't think you said that.
because I didn't feel like it was a true representation of myself. So
Oh,
like,
yeah. You said something
right?
similar, but yeah.
Yeah. So now people are like, we want to see your actual projects. So I'm
Right.
like going back to like clients. I'm like, okay, let's just video this
Can
for,
I come
they're so
take
sweet. My
photos?
clients are the best. Like everybody,
Yeah.
like me and my clients, we have a special bond. So
Yeah,
they're always like, yeah, for sure.
of
Come in.
course.
Um, but it's still hard for me because it's not necessarily a true representation of self. And I always feel like people are going to be like, oh, so this
This
is
is
how
what she
she
likes.
designs. But
Yeah.
really, it's like,
But I think you do a great job of sharing that in your feed. Like, I think you do a really great job of being like, this is my client's home and my client's taste, and I'm facilitating.
right. So I hope I'm trying to like make that clear.
That comes up very, very clear to me. But also, like you said before, your clients are hiring you. So they need your input.
Oh, yeah.
They need your intervention.
Yeah, they can do it themselves. And a lot of times I tell them no. It's not just like, oh, you like it, we're going with it.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like, no,
no.
this actually doesn't work practically or
Yeah. And I just show them and they see it because a lot of times they're taking an individual piece and they're just like, I like it. And I'm like, honey, look at it together in the space. Look at what we just did with it. We can't do that. We need something
right.
warmer, something to tone it down, something to level it down.
I love that.
They see it right away. They're very respectful. But I will say that the more like easygoing clients allow me to push them more. The
Mm-hmm.
more conscientious clients are a lot more stubborn, I want to say, in the
Mm-hmm.
nicest way possible with all my love.
They know what they want, right?
Yeah, they're very set in their ways and don't want to go out of their comfort zone, which is very interesting.
So it is really interesting because I have done a lot of projects in my life because just the constant involvement of my house and the Chabad house, and we built a mikvah, and then we moved our house, a shul out of the house, and then we have a space, and then we expanded our house. Like I'm always in some kind of project, right?
Yeah.
And for me, like it's really interesting. Like it's really important for me because I have skills, but also like it's hard for me to give full attention to everything. So it's really important for me when I hire someone that I trust them completely because I like to give the people that work for me like
Full autonomy.
yeah, what's the word? Like the power. Like,
I
like
love
I
that.
trust them. So have there been things where I'm like, no, I don't like that so much. But like for me, like when I hire someone, I'm like, I want you to run with it and show me
That's the
like
best client. You know
what you
that.
have because
You're a dream client then.
I know. I think maybe I need to be your client. Too bad
Yeah,
we can just come over here.
seriously. No, because really the best designs are when they're from within,
Yes.
like it's not meddled with. So,
Yes.
which is a very interesting balance now that I've learned this
Mm-hmm.
to bring myself into the design. When we're the same place type, forget it, fire. We can do beyond.
Mm-hmm.
And I had someone who was a different place type than me. I believe she's a maven. It was before I uncovered it. I want to say that she's a maven. In the beginning, she was just very much like, I don't know, I don't like it, this and that, and just being like very choosy and
Unsure.
not.
Yeah.
And then she's like, it took her a while, but then she's like, you know what? I just need to trust you. It's perfect. Everything is so good. When there's that trust, things just come out beautifully.
I always say, like, if you're gonna micromanage, like, why hire somebody? Like, do it yourself. I don't know. Like, when you hire somebody, but then tie their hands behind their back, like,
Yeah, it can't come out. I mean, there's so much that we see because we've been doing this for years, and the amount of inspiration that we have gathered. I know everyone, but speaking for myself, like it wasn't like constant need for clients. Like in the beginning stages, I was raising small kids. It was a lot of
mm-hmm.
gathering inspiration, just looking at
Yes.
pictures and details. So like I think I got that over, let's say, someone that was just knocking out and doing the same type of
Yeah.
project.
Working. Yeah.
I really gathered design inspiration from tons of designers all over the world, right? So I just like have this specialty of saying things like in a way that's different. And when you're saying like, no, 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 there becomes
Yeah.
like this
It's
friction
hard.
of, yeah, like you said, you're tying your hands behind your back
Yeah.
type of
Yeah.
thing.
Have you ever designed it like for an adventurer?
Yeah. So I just posted on my feed an adventurous design.
Okay. I have to go check it out.
Yeah, go check it out. I'm curious. Looking at it after, again, this was before I knew the place type.
Oh, okay.
Looking at it after, I'm almost like, maybe I could have been a little bit more daring. I'm curious from you. Like almost the dining room feels like it could have been even a little bit more guardian. If I would name it now, I would be like, this is a guardian dining room,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like I
Mm-hmm.
would be like
Mm-hmm.
Studio McG, like that style.
She's a guardian.
Yeah, she's a
Yeah.
guardian. Do you like it?
I like certain things. It's a little boring for me
It's a
sometimes.
little boring,
Yeah.
right? It's just like a little like regular.
I wonder what is Chris Loves Julia?
Ooh,
She's not really a professional designer though. She's
right.
yeah.
You know what? I don't even like it's so interesting because like I don't necessarily follow the people that aren't like talking to my
You
soul.
should follow her. I'd be
I feel like
curious
she
to
comes
know.
up on my feed. I'm gonna
Yeah.
check it out after.
I'd be curious to know. Because she's like almost like she has a lot of similarities to Studio McG, but she has a little bit more color, a little bit more pattern play.
Interesting. I'm gonna look now. Chris Loves Julia.
Like she came out with a Pottery Barn collab that
Oh, yeah. I would say she's more adventurer.
yeah, I feel like I align with her stuff a
Yeah,
lot.
no,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, you look at the wallpaper, the pattern, and then like
Yeah.
you guys like that curve ruffle, like the
Yeah.
curve, the bit, right? It's
Yeah.
so interesting. Yeah. This is adventure, which is different than Guardian. See, what I
Yeah.
loved about uncovering you was that I thought that all this was Guardian. And then I realized, no, this is a separate group of adventure.
I love that. I helped you do that.
Yes, I needed
That's
your
so fun.
guys' brains. I can't go into your brain.
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah.
work like that. Like
Yeah.
it's so cool.
That is amazing. So, okay, I mean, we could talk forever, but I am curious ultimately, like, not this second snap your fingers, but like, where are you headed? Where is it that you want to be? Where do you want this to go? Like, do you have a vision or you're just kind of like taking it one step at a time?
I have a vision, I have a dream, and I'm almost afraid to say it because
To
they
say it out
say you
loud?
shouldn't say your dreams or else
I
they
hear
won't
you.
come true.
Who says that though? Isn't that the opposite of manifestation?
I don't I don't know, but you know what? I'll just put it out there and we can always
Yeah,
we can see where it goes.
we can see where it goes.
I really want to be designing hotels, boutique hotels one day. That is like my dream. And
You know
it
what?
sounds crazy, and that's why I don't
No,
want to
you
say
put
it.
it out into the universe and I feel like that needs to happen. Like you need to put it out there and manifest it. Because
Okay.
I see that for you. I think that's good would be amazing.
It brings me such joy. And I don't mean like the chain hotels that are so
No.
ugly.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean
yeah.
boutique hotels that like fill my soul. Like that's where I want to be. And that goes back to like all these things of manifesting and all that stuff, the projector thing that I just have to share
Mm-hmm.
and wait for someone to come to me. That
Mm-hmm.
sounds crazy to
Mm-hmm.
get to that dream.
But it's gonna happen.
I mean,
Amen. Because
yeah.
but remember, you have to put it out there. You can't just keep it to yourself.
Interesting. So you think I have to put that out there? Yeah, I guess that I'm
I think
available.
or like you just subtly, like I actually, now that you say that, I remember when you had on your feed, like you went through this boutique hotel that you really loved. So now that I hear that from you, I'm like, of course, like that's where you find so much joy. So I think in your special, unique way, you're so subtle, right? And so you put it out there, you talk about it, you show hotels that you right, and you're slowly setting the stage. Not to happen in 7 seconds, but like you're slowly setting the stage for it to be a reality for you.
Yeah, that really is. And I'm not sure I really got into design 12 or 13 years ago, I was literally reading a novel on my Kindle back then, which
No way.
literally I don't even know where it is. Like I said, I
Yeah.
totally stopped that.
What novel were you reading?
I don't know the most
You don't
random
remember?
thing.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was probably like one of those free novels that come with it. I was just like
Mhm.
bored.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about a boutique hotel and a designer. And I'm like, that's it. This is what I want to
That's what you
do.
want to do. Oh my gosh, I so relate to that. Oh,
From there, I remember telling my husband, like, this is what I want to do because I was always wanted to do something. I
Yeah.
lived on Kingston Avenue at that time. If people don't know, Kingston Avenue is like the shopping center of Crown Heights. I'm like, maybe I should open a store in my apartment. Like, I'm literally on Kingston. Like, it could be like a clothing store, like, like a boutique. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I don't know. Then I read this. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, okay, go for it. Worst comes to worst, you'll design our house. And we won't hire a different designer. You'll design it. Like, what's the worst that could happen?
So is that how you started, like design?
I literally
Oh
just
my
like,
gosh.
yeah, I took a course. I did my work and everything. And that's how I started. And it was slowly. It was really slow. I remember like I did hourlies. I really started with paint colors. I had this thing with color. I did hourlies and like people called me out to do their paints and like really like just
By the way, paint color is underrated. It's very hard.
it is.
It's
It
very
really is.
hard. I
And
can't even
people
tell you
get
like
their
how many
paint color
times.
wrong. And I'm talking about designers that get it wrong. And it's just like, what?
Oh, I believe it because I can't even tell you how many times I've gotten it wrong in my own house. And being that like I'm very leaning into this non-perfectionism part of me, I'm like, oh
I love
well,
that. I
oops.
love that.
Like
Oh
this
my
didn't come out the way I wanted to, but like now we're living with it. So
God. So good.
oh gosh, it's a little
My
crazy.
goodness. Yeah.
But I am
Oh
trying
my
to like,
gosh.
I come from a long line of perfectionists.
Wow.
And so I am determined to be a recovering perfectionist. And I really
Yeah,
feel like I've done a really good job. Like I've really leaned into that.
I think so. And I also think it's the conscientious, not just the perfectionist. I think it's the way
Yeah.
conscientious people are wired to be more
Yeah.
perfectionist.
Yeah.
Easygoing people are more just easygoing, which
Yeah.
is how it plays out. But
But I do think like obviously on a scale and everybody has their baseline, but I do think I don't know if it's the right word, but easygoing or more flexible
yeah,
is a
flexible is a good word.
skill that can be learned.
Right. But conscientious is a skill that can be learned for the more flexible as well. Like
For
put
sure.
set up boundaries and
Oh,
like
for sure.
stick up for yourself. So it's really that
100%.
balance. Yeah.
But what I'm saying and is what you're saying is that like you don't just have to be like, well, that's the way I am.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like you have intrinsic value for who you are and your personality is important, but there doesn't mean there are things that you cannot work on to be a more evolved you, right?
Yes,
Like a better, show up better you, right? So I see so many times, and sometimes even my kids say like, well, that's the way I am. I'm like, yeah, I hear you. But also like, it's not okay
Yeah.
to like never clean your room because you don't
Exactly. Like you can't just come home from school, dump your sweater and your backpack right by the living room table. Like
Right.
it doesn't work like that. Hang
Right.
it up. No.
And I do. There's some, so like I have that. Some of my kids are very unaware of their surroundings and they're messy and they're just, it doesn't bother them and they're not
doesn't bother them.
aware. But I'm like, you have to function in society. You need to become more aware. You need to learn. Like, I'm not trying to change your personality. I'm not trying to make you the most organized, neat person. I'm just trying to teach you that you have to be aware of your surroundings and you have to be aware of like what your body is doing,
Yeah,
like
I'm laughing because I literally had this conversation last night. We were saying like the difference between a conscientious person living with an easygoing person and the view of the easygoing with a conscientious person. Who does it take more of a toll on?
yeah.
And the conscientious person was saying that it for sure takes more of a toll on the conscientious because like it's affecting them that they just left this mess or that they came home to this. And the easygoing person's like, okay, it's not the end of the world.
Not the end of the world. Right.
Yeah.
But I think what affects the easygoing person is rigidity.
Exactly. And that's what I was trying to explain. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm so on top that I can't just go in my flow. That's what's affecting the easygoing person.
Right. If you're so rigid and there's no like, you feel trapped as an easygoing person, with a very conscientious, more rigid person, like that could also take a toll,
Yeah.
So I think we just have to be really understanding of each other.
It's really fascinating because I guess it's just fascinating how personality is your design place. Like the two, it seems like so different. Like, what does one have to do with each other? And it has a direct link to the point of your exact
Totally.
design style, which is wild.
Yes. But when you think about it, like, I think people don't tap into that and they don't realize that when they're like picking things for their home, right? But if you actually think about it, it should be like, obviously, right? Like,
Yeah.
obviously your personality should have effect on how you design your house, right?
Yeah, literally. It's so funny because I did this home in Borough Park. So she lived in a house and then she bought her next door neighbor's house and we combined it as two.
Oh, wow.
So we kind of had to fix up the other house so there can be flow into the next house that we were designing. So we started off thinking, this is again before place type knowledge, we started off thinking that she hired me because she saw that I
Your
had
stuff.
shared value in what she liked. She's like, it's warm. I guess people are liking the warmth.
What it is about you, yeah, it's like you're very clean and uncluttered and very like monochromatic, but it's warm,
I
right?
guess
It's
that's
not like the
what's
black and white, like the harsh, or like it's more earth
right.
tones.
The black and white with the gold.
Yeah, I feel like you're very earthy.
That's what it is. The earthy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was so interesting because like the first part of our project was doing the side entrance and I literally we made a custom window. I drew it, this like wave. And then we got the glass guy to do that exact shape and we installed that whole shape of the mirror. And I loved it and she loved it. But then what was interesting, she's like, okay, I like it, but no more of that fun in my house. She's the cleanest guardian. You have no idea.
Wow.
That she's conscientious like crazy. When I say there wasn't an item out of place in her house, time after time, a visit, no matter what time of the day, her house was.
That sounds very stressful.
Oh my God. But that's just her personality. I mean, it was beautiful. I love coming to her house. I was like, oh my gosh, I come here all the time. But everything else was clean. We were thinking of doing arches. No, everything is straight. Even her bathroom, it's just clean. It's beautiful. I need to go there. I wonder if she's going to allow me to video it.
Yes. And now I want to see.
I know. She's a very private person. She might not want her home on the gram.
Yeah.
Which is another thing.
Which is people are like understandable.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
But now it just all makes sense. Not only that, she was so confused within herself, which is why I was also very confused. She was showing me these clean, also like images of hotels with like the mahogany, like wood in the bathroom with mirrors. So like what I said, the Guardian style, right? But then she would show me fun prints of like that Studio McGee would have or like similar style. Serena and Lily. It was like her favorite. She kept saying, Serena and Lily is my favorite. I'm like,
so interesting.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
How could Serena and Lily? And then this, and she was torn. She kept going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And in the end, she did clean, the cleanest wallpaper, like just with a texture, like no prints. We did one print in a closet. Thank God it was in a closet. This floral green, mind you.
Yeah.
In the coat closet. Everything else is clean as could be. It took her a long time to find herself. Had I known these place types before,
you would have helped.
It could have been like, to help. It's this, but you're this within it, which is amazing.
Wow.
Like it literally hours in the wallpaper place, hours, if I can't even tell you.
Yeah, that's interesting because I also am very, I'm fast. Like
She was also fast.
I'm like, I don't want to spend hours. I'm like, let's go. Let's make a decision.
It was crazy because she was fast and then changed her mind. She's like, I don't know. Something's wrong. I'm fast. And she's like, let's do it. Check.
She was too fast.
It was too fast.
Oh my gosh. Brochie, this was so fun.
This really
I know you have to go pick up your kids. So like, I'm like, or else we could talk for hours. But thank you so much for coming on my podcast. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that I even thought to invite you. So,
thank you.
Right? So you wouldn't have to like, be the other way around. But I'm glad also it worked out with your daughter. I hope she feels good.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you. Thank
I
you for
appreciate
inviting
it.
me. And honestly, like, I don't even know what was shared here. So much more than my usual comfort zone of like sharing my
But
brain
that's
with
what I
people.
do.
That's literally what you do. So I don't think people will ever get this version of me again. Sharing.
So guys, appreciate it because it's only going to be here.
Okay. Well, thank you.
I love
really
it. I
loved
love it.
Okay, so I have actually a lot of like little tidbits and thoughts that I want to review and discuss with you. The first thing I'm going to start with is a correction. Brochie messaged me and said that she has a correction, that she mentioned that We Were What, I think her name is Daniela Bernstein from We Were What. She place typed her as a dynamo, but she has now figured out and confirmed that she is a guardian. So important correction. It's really fun how we go through so many social media people that you might have heard of and kind of place type them and see where they fit in this design scheme. So that was a really fun part of the podcast. Of course, we go into briefly minimalism versus maximalism. You know, it's a topic that I'm really into these days. This was recorded a few months ago, so I know I discussed this recently, but this probably came first. But I just keep encountering different parts of myself that confirm like who I am, right? And I keep confronting this maximalism part of myself and kind of wrestling with that. And slowly but surely getting more and more comfortable with being a maximalist. So I know we've talked about a lot about that. I'm not going to go into it too much more, but it was just interesting. As I was re-listening to this podcast, that we talked about it here a little bit as well. Another little point that I thought was really impactful, but like interestingly about the gray walls. Like how powerful our environment and our color, like how we surround ourselves. Seems like such a little point of the podcast, but I don't know. When I was re-listening, I'm like, wow, that really is powerful to be intentional about where and how you surround yourself. And just that this whole concept of like gray walls and dungeons and jails and prisons, like because it brings on depression is just really big. And so just another invitation to be conscious of whatever's in your power, your home. I know we all have different degrees of how we can control our environment. But once you have intention around that, little things like add a plant, right? Add a throw on your pillow, throw on your pillow, throw on your couch, right? There's definitely things that we can do to be intentional about how we're surrounding ourselves. And when we're in a room that we're meant to be relaxing in, how does that feel? Does it feel relaxing? Anyway, I thought that was very interesting. And the last thing I wanted to address and end with is this whole conversation that we ended up talking about that wasn't necessarily about design, but was so interesting and kind of touching upon like black and white thinking and how we see things in the world. And it could be really confusing. And I know I struggle with confusion around spirituality versus like connection in the way that God has kind of told us to connect with him. And sometimes I try to reconcile that in my head and like, how could you be really, really, really spiritual and have like an amazing connection with God, maybe even more than someone who's keeping all the rules, but then don't keep the rules, right? So like, it's just confusing. And I think the beautiful way that we navigated that topic was just really leaving space for the confusion, recognizing that things are not black and white, right? Recognizing that we're all in this world figuring it out and it's a journey. And when judgment comes up, like, what do we do with that judgment? And remembering that we need to focus on our relationship with Hashem. And yeah, the world is a little confusing. I think that's fair to say. And I lied. I had one more thing to review, because I think this is something that we can all practice, even though it's so hard. When Brochie talked about calling her friend to find out, like, what was it about her that was a problem for her? being vulnerable enough to ask somebody, like, what don't you like about me? Like, what could I work on? Oh my gosh. Oh, every time I say it, I get like goosebumps. But I think there's something so beautiful about that vulnerability and beautiful about being almost okay enough and confident enough to even go there, right? You have to have some level of confidence and foundation and knowing that you're okay to even open up like that Pandora's box of like, what is it that I could work on? How do other people see me? Like, what is it that I could benefit from hearing? And I think that was so powerful. It really stayed with me. I can't say that I've done it yet, but which segues me into another vulnerability conversation that I want to have that I told you we were going to have. And that brings me to the Substack essay that I posted last week about recognizing how there are times where we aren't enough for our children. And even after I published that article and I'm thinking about it, like more things keep coming up for me. And I talked a little bit about this on Instagram about like what keeps coming up for me is this inner child work that's happening, but you're doing it with your child. You're doing the inner child work with your child. So your child's not an adult and having to go back and do this all on their own, but it's you're actually participating in your child's inner child work and healing. And it's very, very difficult. And I'm myself just dipping my toe into this whole thing because it's different than a repair. Like it's different than like let's say you raise your voice at your child and you scream at them, right? And later on you come back to them and you repair and you're like, I shouldn't have yelled at you. I'm sorry. I was feeling dysregulated. It's not an excuse. And you repair that way. That's not what we're talking about here because that is much less, intense and like much less foundation correcting, right? What we're talking about here is looking at a child, recognizing that many, many years back, there was something that affected them that you should have been different, right? And you're going back years and staying with and owning the fact that they deserve better, right? And that is a whole different ballgame than just like the day-to-day repair that we do with our children. So, for example, what I spoke about in the article is like I came to the realization that for one of my children, there were times where her needs weren't being met. Either she wasn't feeling safe, it was chaotic, whatever was happening in the house really affected this particular child. And when I sit with that feeling, it's painful because as a parent, it's our job to keep our children safe. And, it's our job to provide that environment. And so it's very, very difficult to, first of all, even sit with this idea that like, that didn't happen. And it's not that you could have done anything differently. I truly believe that in that moment or in that time period, I was doing everything that I could. And it's not like I would even go back and change something in particular. It's just recognizing that the circumstances aligned that my child ended up getting the raw end of the deal, right? And so when I realized this with the help of my therapist, it was like, okay, so now how are you going to recognize that? How are you going to make sure your child feels seen and heard and understood? So we talked a little bit about like what actually this is about. And I said to this child, I said, it's really come to my attention through a current incident, right? That brought back the past. It's come to my attention that, there were times in this home that you didn't feel safe and that must have been really scary and you deserve better. And it was my job to provide better for you. And I didn't. And I just really want to sit with that for a minute and really acknowledge that this was your reality. Oh, so hard. So hard. It's still so hard. Every time I think about it, it's really uncomfortable. But the thing that I wanted to add, which I told you, a couple days ago that I was going to talk about it on the podcast. So I hope you're all here listening now, is that we talked about this word, I'm sorry, right? I talked with my therapist about this word, I'm sorry. And can you imagine if I would have said like, I'm sorry you didn't feel safe? That's not what we're trying to impart here. First of all, it's like, oh, this is a you problem, right? Like you didn't feel safe. I'm so sorry you didn't feel safe, and kind of disconnecting yourself from it. And then at the same time, it's also like the I'm sorry kind of makes it about you too. Like the word I'm sorry is so overused. And the truth is that you are sorry and you're trying to take responsibility. But when we use the word I'm sorry, it's like a little bit of a cop out, because it's just so easy to be like, I'm sorry you felt this way, or I'm sorry this, or I'm sorry that. And then you really don't have to intentionally think about what you're trying to say. So this is like my brain is like, feels like popcorn. Like when we were talking about this, I'm like, oh my gosh, like a whole new thing to think about. So my therapist was telling me, first of all, there are certain languages that don't even have the word I'm sorry in it. Just, anecdotally, very interesting. But also he told me that he, the last couple of years, doesn't use the word I'm sorry, took it out of his vocabulary. And what does that accomplish? It accomplishes intention. So it's not like the point of taking I'm sorry out of your vocabulary is not that you're not sorry about things, and not that you're not taking ownership or responsibility. It's about really being intentional what you're trying to take responsibility for. And when you take out the word I'm sorry, it forces you to think about what you're trying to say, think about what you're sorry about, really take responsibility for it, not fakely. I'm sorry is very easy. Like it's just a thing that we throw out there all the time. We say I'm sorry all the time. So I'm going to try it. Like, I think we can all, maybe whoever wants to can take on this challenge of like, what do I say? How do I take responsibility, impart my true feelings and my regret in the way I acted without using the word I'm sorry? And I think that that's such a cool thing to try. And I'm definitely gonna try it. And I already see in the last couple of days that I'm already becoming much more intentional, and already like having to really say like what I'm sorry about, right? And how are you going to make that person feel your responsibility or your compassion, your being present in the moment, honoring other people's feelings. Like, how are you going to make people feel that without saying the word I'm sorry? So that is the challenge. Please get back to me and tell me if you are trying this out and how it plays out. It might not play out for everybody the way that we expect, but I'm really curious. I did get a couple questions about the article, and I did also receive a few beautiful personal experiences that I asked if I could share. So I'm going to do that. So first of all, someone said it's very, very real and hard, but realistic to realize at times you didn't help your child feel safe. So yes, I agree with it. I think that as a parent, we probably all have experienced this. I just don't know if it's always realistic. Like, to do what I'm talking about is not just like I said, not just a surface of, I'm sorry you didn't feel safe. It's so much deeper than that. And it's that inner child work that you're doing with your child that is really loaded and layered. So I say, yes, it's important and hard and maybe not always realistic, which brings me to the next question, which was, I would love to hear more on this healing inner child work with your child with real examples. So I think I gave a real example, right, about this scenario of realizing that my child there was times where like it really was difficult in in our home environment for one of my children. So that's the example that I have. If I think of more, I will share. Okay, so now I'm going to share two of the experiences that these women shared with me that I was so touched by, and I think we can all learn from. So one is, I'm going to read it to you. I have been thinking about this so much lately. I have been climbing out of a deep, deep depression, and I know I haven't been there for my children and have not been a safe parent. I'm struggling with not getting caught up in the guilt. I know there's a repair needed, but also know I'm not in a grounded space to hold them in their pain yet. Okay, I feel so much emotion when I read this. There's so much here. And it's so beautiful. First of all, the self-awareness. First of all, climbing out of depression is like one of the hardest things that someone can do. Recognizing that they weren't the parent that they hoped to be or wanted to be. Struggling with the guilt around it. And then also realizing that there is a repair that needs to happen, but it's not the right time. That is so beautiful and so important to realize. If you go into this repair or this inner child work with your child before you are grounded enough, not going to go well, right? So I just thought that this was a beautiful share because it's not always the right time. It's not that we should all now jump into this inner child's repair work. No, we really have to know what's going on for us inside of us. We have to be grounded enough. We have to have enough support. We have to know exactly what we're doing, what we're even trying to repair, and then we can move into that. But the recognition of this beautiful person who realized that there is repair to do, but not ready yet is just life goals. Like I hope we can all take from that and learn from that. The next little life experience I want to share, I'm also going to read it to you because it's in their own beautiful words. Okay, so it started like this. I love your Substack essay. Thank you very much. Firstly, just a huge bunch of admiration for your honesty. Secondly, I think that everyone who has more than one child has this at a different times in different degrees, and acknowledging it, especially to those kids, is so, so powerful and healing. For me, in my relationship with one of my parents, this has been such a huge source of pain and trauma for me. This parent, I felt, often chose other needs over mine, and the pain and trauma was in the lack of acknowledging the choice. I think that being a parent myself to two kids, I see it so much. We do our best, but we have to choose sometimes. We are only one person doing our best, and we have to make the choice that we feel is best with the information that we have at the time. And that's our job, and it's okay. And hopefully most of the time, no one is too hurt. But I think what I'm still processing and see from my own situation is the following. One, it's incredibly important for me to feel validated for the times that my needs were not met. I can give you an example that happened as an adult, but was so triggering for me because of my childhood experiences. After my second was born, my younger sister also had a baby. I was living in my own house and got pretty sick one night. I had 102 and a pretty hard baby, and my husband wasn't available. I called my mother crying, but she told me that she had to stay with my sister because she didn't want to be alone. I was so hurt. But what was much worse was that I brought it up a few times to say, like, this was hard for me that you picked her, that she was more important when I was really sick. And I felt like I barely asked for anything. And she asks for so much, and her need, which was 24/7 at that point, was prioritized over mine. My mom kept saying, I didn't pick her. I gave to you both. That part was trauma for me. The second thing I realized is that so often we let one very loud emotional child run a household, and not intentionally, but the kid who makes a fuss or gets hysterical is often prioritized. And often the other kids really remember that one kid ruined trips and family dinners. So what I'm trying to work on, because I think that's unintentional, is being mindful of that as often as possible, not letting one person and their needs take over. Okay, this is so beautiful. First of all, this is inner child work that this person is doing as an adult, like recognizing where her triggers are and seeing like how that really affected her as a child, and also coming in as a mother and trying to be more aware and intentional about that. And I think the second point that she was saying is very, very true. Like we have children that take up more energy and more space. And a lot of times the household revolves around that. And then another child can feel like they're getting the short end of the stick, or they're being, not neglected necessarily, but like, it's just there's one child that's ruling the roost, And I think that is more common than we think. I think a lot of us experience this and think that we're the only ones experiencing that. And just the awareness and the acknowledgement of that reality helps us be more aware. And when one child is taking over, we can be more intentional about making sure the other children are being heard and seen, and they're feeling, just as important. So those were all really beautiful shares. I really appreciate when you share with me and tell me your vulnerable moments of growth and pain. And, this is what I hope to continue to create here on this podcast and on social media and everything that I get to do with you guys. So thanks for being here, and I will see you next time.
Okay, so this podcast does not come about magically, and I don't do it alone. I have such an amazing team behind me that makes this all happen. Obviously, I'm your host, Chavie. Our producer and creative director is Eli Ben-Chion. He's awesome. Wouldn't have this without him. Audio is edited and mixed by Reed Seeley. Music by Basia Schechter and Daniel Ori. And this is totally unexpected.